go.
Happy 2018 guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video today we're starting the new year out with a blank canvas or a dark canvas, whatever you want to call it. So I'm very excited to jump straight into this video. I did make a prosthetic on a face cast today. I will give you guys a really quick run through, but I'm also going to have a separate video on this going really in depth on how I made the face and the horns. So I'm starting out with liquid latex and just thickening it with some flour to get a super thick and chunky consistency. As you guys can see, I'm just going to start laying that down onto my face cast, and then with regular thin latex I'm going to blend it out and sculpt it. This is a super quick run through, but I will have a really in-depth video and also a Gore Guide series on how to make quick and easy liquid latex prosthetics without any casting or molding steps. For the horns, I will also have a separate tutorial. I just made it out of polymorph plastics, which I got from Ellie from the Ellie Max channel. I'm going to baby powder that once it is completely set and then just peel it off. It is as simple as that, and you can make a super quick and easy prosthetic, which is why I'm super excited to show you guys how to do it. If you don't have a face cast, you can also use a mannequin. Now, I did sadly have to cut this down quite a bit because we're doing a dripped face video. I didn't really make the cheekbones high enough. It's very important to kind of have the drips go across from ear to ear and line up with your nose. To start the application process, I'm going to be applying this with liquid latex. You can of course use spirit gum, which is quite popular as well, but I prefer this. It's a lot easier, cheaper and quicker for me. To cover my eyebrows today, I'm using the glue stick method, just a non-toxic glue stick, running that through a few times, brushing them upwards and then setting them. Now, I wanted to quickly talk about where I got the inspiration for this look today. I personally think that the biggest trend of the year so far has been the blank canvas dripping look from Jodie Hulme. I absolutely love it and I think it's very creative. James Charles recreated it and it really just made me think I needed to do something with it as well. That's definitely a lot different from everybody else. So I decided to use the top of my face because I thought I could get a better inverted look. Some people have had really cool replacing the white drips into glitter and fun body paints and things like that. So that could be a possibility for something to come, but for now I wanted to go with creepy. All I'm doing here is ripping up some cotton wool and applying some latex on my face. This is going to give it a really chunky texture to help the mask grip a little bit better because it is a little bit heavy, and if you apply just straight up latex, I don't recommend that it's going to stay on as long as possible. So as you guys can see, that's nice and tacky, and I'm going to press that down and start to blend it out into my face. Now sadly I had these perfect thin edges that would have worked so beautifully, but I did get a little bit carried away with them cheekbones. I made them a little bit too low, and as you guys can see from the style of this look, it's very important to have the drips line up with your nose, and I didn't really think of that whilst making the prosthetic. So I'm just going through here, you guys have seen me do this a million times, with cotton wool and latex and just blending down those edges. It didn't give it a perfect finish like I wanted, but I was so happy with this look that it didn't bother me at all. So after I've done that, I've repeated it about 3 or 4 times and then just blow dried it out so it dried a lot quicker. Once you've got all of that set in place, it is time to start the colouring process. To make my life a lot easier, I'm just taking my NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk and mapping out the areas of where I want my drips to go. I am referring back to Jodie's original look just to make sure that it is quite similar, even though we have the exception of demonic cheekbones. So I'm taking my MAC white face paint and starting to apply that along my whole bottom jaw. I'm not really focusing on getting this nice and neat because I will apply a thicker cream paint over the top. So once that's all dry and in place, don't forget to do your ears as well. I feel like really elongating it up to the ears makes this look so much more dramatic. So once I've done that, I'm going to take this, I think it's a Makeup Forever palette, or it could be my Clara palette. And I'm going to start popping that on and blending it out with a sponge and a brush just to get a very thick and opaque layer. As you guys can see, that is much more white and smooth than the original paint that I did lay down. So once that is all blended out, don't forget to set that cream down. I'm using the RCMA No Colour Powder, and that's going to hopefully keep it mattified because we're applying liquid latex straight over the top. And I really wasn't sure if it was going to stick or not, so I'm taking regular thin latex and applying that on my face and letting it trickle down to create those 3D drips. Now I thought this was really cool because I wasn't sure if it was going to work, and I had to like severely monitor them and make sure that they're at different levels and exactly where I wanted them to be, but it is quite achievable. It just takes a little bit of time. So I went through and pretty much applied the drips all over my face, tilted my head back, and then kind of stopped them with a Q-tip, beading in the areas that I wanted. Now it is kind of important to blend them up into the face as well. You don't really want just like super 3D drips starting from the middle of nowhere. So I'm going to blend that up into the prosthetic, and then you cannot blow dry these, they need to dry natural. For my demonic skin tone today, I chose Bright Red, which is pretty much just the standard go-to for any demon. This product was a little bit thicker than usual, so I did have to take my RCMA foundation thinner and just apply a few drops throughout my face just to blend it easier. As you guys can see, this is like a refined castor oil and it works really well with creams. Now, I know that you can straight up use refined castor oil, but I feel like this product is definitely a lifesaver. So I'm going in and just applying that around the rest of the face, using different brushes and making sure to change it up and really refine the drips to make them as nice as possible. I did apply this all up into my hairline and also mimic the drips on my ears to blend out the face and make it flawless. Moving back onto the body to finish off the neck and chest area, I'm taking that MAC white body paint, which is just water activated. I used a lot less water to give it more of a thicker and creamy consistency and applied 2 layers to get it super pigmented. To create a sexy smoky demon eye, I'm taking the NYX gel liner in black and applying that with a concealer brush on both lids. This is going to be a base for all of our shadows today and also for all of our contouring. Pretty much I'm going to use this gel as a cream contour and then I'm going to layer a black shadow over the top. So as you guys can see here, I'm going to start chiseling out the areas of the prosthetic that we've made, such as the nose, the brow and the cheekbones. Also apply this around the base of your horns and pretty much in any area you want to define and really sculpt. Run that down the sides of the drips as well, just to make them look a lot more three-dimensional. To intensify and blend out our cream contour, I'm taking a matte black shadow. This is the Hot Black from NYX Cosmetics on a large contour brush. I'm going to start buffing that into the areas where we applied our gel liner to really deepen and define that area. I'm going to really sink in the eye sockets and apply this all around the border of my hairline to also hide the prosthetic where it overlaps. I will need to go back in with more of that red cream, and I thinned this down to the max. I was almost at one point using just straight up oil to blend the cream colors together with the black contour shadow. It almost made somewhat of a khaki color and I wasn't mad at it. It was very unintentional, but it looked really cool. It gave the look a very like blemish free and smoothed effect, and I really loved how well it all melted together. So as you guys can see, I'm looking super filtered and super blended right now. I deepened my top and bottom waterline with the Black Bean Jumbo Pencil from NYX, and now I'm taking more of that hot black shadow and really packing it on my lids to give it a super mattified and set look, just to make sure that that cream and gel doesn't like smudge everywhere and crease. I'm also going to buff that along my lower lash line to give myself more of like an eyeshadow look and not just a sunken in look, because I will pop on lashes and give this more of a glam feel. I'm also bringing that down and contouring the inner corners of my nose. Now I'm going to take this matte red eyeshadow because I could not find my NYX one, and this is just a Morphe palette. I'm going to pack that on all of the areas where I would usually highlight. Because I applied so much oil, I started looking a bit greasy. So I kind of set all of my under eye area and then contoured the tops of my ears as well. Now to start on my beautiful horns, I'm thinning out some of that brown and mixing it with a little bit of black from the cream palette and starting to define and draw upwards from the base. This is going to give my horns extra texture. Oh, that's a cool combination, extra texture, and I'm going to apply that just with a brush, run it up and down, and that's going to settle in the lines that we made of the prosthetic. I quickly popped on lashes off of camera and then went back in and started to really define the lines up and down from the tip of the horn to the base. I did, of course, indent it as well, so that cream's really just going to settle in those lines and give it a beautiful look. Taking more of that black gel, I popped it over the top of my lash band just to hide it, and then I really went back in and smoked out that bottom lash line to give it more of a sexy, smoky, demonic look. But yeah, that is it. It looked really cool without a wig, but I was like, you know what? Let's pop one on anyways. If you guys didn't notice, the forehead prosthetic is quite large, so I designed it specifically to fit underneath a wig, which is why I was like, look, I'm going to pop one on anyways. I originally had a red luscious wig, which was like really curly and cute, but I went for this Lady Gaga one. I always style it and pull it back super far so it looks more like a Yolandi vibe, which I love, like that short cut fringe with like almost a mullet effect. And I painted my hands and stuck on some white fake nails. So that is it, guys. This is the finished look. I'm super happy with this blank dark canvas. It's a great way to start off the year, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Check out my other videos if you haven't. I recently got married. If you want to learn more about my personal life and see my beautiful wedding, thank you so much for watching and supporting me. It is a new year. Let's jump into it. Let's create some creepy shit. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.